Okay, now, you're doing looking.
No, I'm...
You're doing looking, right. Now do confronting. Just confront the pin. Yeah, I see. Okay. Yeah, well, you're doing it right because you're confronting as a Satan, not necessarily with your eyes. It's totally different from looking, right? And there's nothing wrong with your eyes. They are completely under control. So that's up to you, how you want to handle that. Okay? In the session, you do have to move your eyes to watch the meter, watch the PC, watch the admin, etc., etc., etc. So just do a TR0 and let her pretend that she's writing something there.
I'm more moving with the PC?
Huh?
I'm more moving with the PC?
No, it doesn't matter what you do.
Okay.
But you just start her and you just pretend more that you're an auditor in session, just naturally in session. You can move your hand, you can fool with the dial and stuff like that, but keep it pretty clear in session space. And let's just see how that goes. Okay? Yeah, that's fine. See, that's only present when you stop doing anything else. Right. And you're just doing confront of the space as things. The eye movement has nothing to do with you. It has to do with the body. Has got the orders of what to look at. Yeah, because you're doing fine when you're doing a session environment. It's all right. Okay, so just, by the way, I think everybody ought to do a little bit of that on this TR. That's it. Oh, that's it, guys. Two things I've noticed overall. Everybody got sort of into session auditor TRs there, and that was okay. But go ahead.
Jedermann hat die auditor TRs reingekriegt, das war in Ordnung.
In other words, I didn't see any things that would make it uncomfortable to be audited by it, did you?
Nichts gesehen, was es unbequem machen würde oder unangenehm von einem von euch auditiert zu werden.
But it is interesting, the number of vias and considerations there were on this.
Aber es ist interessant, die Anzahl von Vias und Betrachtungen, die darauf lagen.
You see, from the viewpoint of what Ingrid told us, that she could do fine in session as long as she wasn't doing what she called TRs, which ended up being the effect of a drill called RTRs or something. And
wenn Ingrid gesagt hat, dass sie gute Sitzungen gibt, solange sie nichts macht, was man TRs nennt. Das war von einem harten TRs-Kurs her.
And from over here, where the girl was confronting as a Satan, great on everything in the space, but didn't have the eye movement under control of the body when we were doing nothing else.
Hier hatte sie konfrontierte gut als Täter und alles, aber sie hatte die Augenbewegung nicht unter Kontrolle, wenn sie nichts anderes tat.
But she was not confronting with the eyes.
Aber sie konfrontierte nicht mit den Augen.
Which is okay, because the eyes could be used in session to do the meter and so on. When I had to do that, it was perfect.
Das war in Ordnung, weil die Augen in Sitzung gebraucht werden, um das Meter und die Admin etc. anzuschauen. Und als sie das machte, da war es perfekt.
So, and there was something else somebody mentioned, there was something here. What was handled here?
Und da gab es hier etwas. Was war das?
Remember I asked you that also. What was that?
Yes, she had on the first. She
Oh, the space. Yeah, space was not encompassing the pre-clear enough.
Und hier hatten
Too
wir
short.
nicht genug Raum für den Pre-Clear.
Okay. Now, you see what I'm doing, it's like a final qual check. This is a qual check.
Yeah, qual check.
It's the idea of, can this person perform a session?
Die Frage, kann diese Person eine Sitzung geben?
And remember, I'm checking it only at a class 4 level.
Und denk daran, ich check es nur auf einem Class 4 Niveau oder Level.
Trying to make auditors that feel confident about handling pre-clear.
Ein Versuch, einen Auditor zu machen, der sich kompetent genug fühlt, an Pre-Clear handzuhalten.
And I would think that, and by the way, once you get those little points corrected, I mean, you find out that sessions maybe go away much better.
Und wenn man einmal diese kleinen Punkte korrigiert hat, dann kann man herausfinden, dass die Sitzungen vielleicht viel besser gehen.
And definitely with pre-clears, because, wow, they have a safe terminal, you see.
Und mit den Pre-Clears ist es sicher so, weil sie einen sicheren Terminal haben.
But the other thing I noticed was that somehow along the way, or wherever you were trained or learned to be a coach, this is not okay.
Wie immer ihr gelehrt worden seid, ein Coach zu sein, das ist nicht gut.
So I think what we're going to have to do now, just to make sure that you don't make these same mistakes, and I'll tell you what they are.
Wir müssen nun sicherstellen, dass ihr da nicht die gleichen Fehler macht, und er sagt jetzt, was die sind.
But most of you that I've watched doing coaching
Die meisten, die beobachtet hat, wie sie coachen,
are not really aware of what role the coach plays.
die sind sich nicht wirklich sicher oder sind sich nicht bewusst, welche Rolle ein Coach spielt.
And you probably didn't even, and some of you didn't even realize that when I told you as the coach, okay, that's it, you were supposed to then tell the person, that's it.
Und die meisten von euch haben nicht gewusst, dass wenn ich zu euch als Coach sage, das war's, dass ihr dann der Person sagen solltet, das war's.
Now we're talking here about a higher level of coaching, which is done was done originally in 1965 on the briefing course.
Wir reden hier von einem höheren Level von Coaching, der 1965 auf dem Briefingkurs gemacht wurde.
But it's done in a very strict regimen of give and take of control.
Und es ist sehr stark wird eingehalten, das Geben und das Nehmen von Kontrolle.
And a very strict regimen of flunk at the first sign of anything out immediately, or the person will never spot it.
Und ein sehr strenges Flanken beim ersten Auftreten von etwas, das out ist. Und zwar sofort, sonst wird es die Person niemals bemerken oder spotten.
And the second rule, give a win when everything is in, immediately.
Und man gibt sofort einen Gewinn, sobald alles drin ist.
Immediately, so that the person notices what it is to do it right.
Und zwar sofort, sodass die Person bemerkt, wie es ist, wie man es richtig macht.
Now, let's look at the theory of good coaching.
Schauen wir uns die Theorie von gutem Coachen an.
I think people forgot this when they were asked to do 2 hours TRs. That is a different subject.
Ich glaube, die Leute haben das vergessen, wenn man sie von ihnen verlangte, dass sie 2 Stunden TRs machen. Das ist ein ganz anderes Thema.
That is a supervised TR.
Das ist ein überwachtes TR.
When you are the coach, however, and doing a drill or a TR or something,
Wenn ihr aber der Coach seid und ein TR oder ein Drill oder etwas macht,
you are the person in charge of that drill or TR.
dann seid ihr die verantwortliche Person für diesen Drill oder für dieses TR.
So, we have here the supervisor, which I was doing,
Wir haben hier den Kursleiter, den hat er gemacht,
the coach, and the student.
und dann den Coach und dann Studenten.
Now that is the command line,
Das ist die Kommandolinie
or control line.
oder die Linie der Kontrolle.
Now the funny thing about TRs and meter drills
Das Lustige über TRs und über Meter-Drills,
is you have start,
da hat man also einen Start
that's it,
und das war's.
or flung, or whatever.
Oder Flank dazwischen oder was immer.
Now this is the beginning of the cycle, that's the end.
Das ist das Anfang und das Ende vom Zyklus.
But the coach is not doing this part of the cycle.
Aber der Coach, der macht nicht diesen Zyklus.
It's starting, see this coach, this is student.
Hier ist der Student.
Immediately that the coach says start, he turns over complete control to the student. And the student, till the coach says that's it, and then the student's control goes back to the coach.
Also übergibt nach dem Start sofort die Kontrolle dem Studenten, bis der Coach wieder sagt, das war's.
So,
dann geht die Kontrolle zurück.
So this is an interesting cycle of action, where it goes start, and all the middle of the cycle of action is the student starting, student continuing, and then stopping when the coach says that's it. This part is just observation by the coach.
Das ist also ein interessanter Aktionszyklus, wo der Coach startet und dann innerhalb dem Zyklus startet und führt etwas durch der Student, bis der Coach wieder sagt, that's it, und der Coach tut in der Zeit nur beobachten.
In other words, the coach must turn over full cause point to the student at this point, and only takes it away from him here.
Mit anderen Worten, der Coach gibt die volle Ursache dann an diesem Punkt, wo anfängt, zum Studenten und nimmt es erst wieder zurück.
And he only takes it away for two reasons.
Und nimmt sie nur für zwei Dinge wieder weg.
A win
Entweder ein Gewinn
or a flunk.
oder ein Flunk.
The only other reason he would ever take it away is when the supervisor comes in and says to the coach, here, somewhere along here, that's it, from the supervisor. Then the coach is required to say, that's it, to the student, because the supervisor is now going to correct the coach.
Und der einzige andere Grund, wann das beendet ist, wenn der Supervisor kommt und sagt, that's it, dann sagt das der Coach zum Studenten, weil nun der Supervisor den Coach korrigiert.
And that is only done when the supervisor sees that the coach is doing it wrong, and he's not running this cycle of giving control over to the student and giving him a win or giving him a flunk when he sees it.
Und das wird nur gemacht, wenn der Supervisor sieht, dass der Coach einen Fehler macht und nicht die Ursache da dem Studenten gibt und sie nur wegnimmt, wenn es einen Gewinn gibt oder wenn ihm einen Flunk gibt.
And therefore, he is mistraining the student.
Und wenn darum den Studenten oder falsch trainiert.
Remember the old thing about logic.
Erinnert ihr euch an die Sache mit Logik?
If he does not allow the student to spot the win by giving him the that's it, or spot the loss by giving the error by giving him a flunk.
Wenn dem Studenten nicht erlaubt, den Gewinn zu bemerken, indem sagt, that's it, oder zu bemerken, dass er einen Irrtum gemacht hat, indem that's it sagt.
At the instant he sees it.
Und zwar in dem Moment, wo es sieht.
Then, first of all, on a win, he's overrunning it and putting the guy in doubt about whether he made it or not.
Bei einem Gewinn überläuft es und dann ist die Person in Zweifel, ob sie es geschafft hat oder nicht.
On a flunk, say it starts here, the guy starts doing something wrong here, and he doesn't flunk it the way up here.
Bei einem Flunk, wenn das hier beginnen würde und gibt ihm das Flunk nicht bis viel später.
And the student fails to spot the cause which started this flunk.
Dann kann der Student nicht die Ursache finden, was dieses Flunk verursacht hat.
Do you understand? Now that is the way coaching was taught to us in 1965.
Das ist, wie sie Coaching gelernt haben in 1965.
And believe me, you can train people very fast if you do that.
Und glaub mir, man kann Leute sehr schnell trainieren, wenn man das so macht.
Now, we also did the requirement of 2 hours TR and things like that, but that was not this. That was not student coach. That was supervised TRs, which is the supervisor goes around and makes sure the guys do it for 2 hours.
Wir haben auch die Sache mit den 2 Stunden TRs gemacht, aber das sind nicht gecoachte TRs, da geht der Supervisor rum und stellt sicher, dass die Studenten das richtig machen.
And that is a persistence TR. That is one where the win is carrying on 2 hours, and the guy says pass. Okay, That's it, you did it for 2 hours.
Das ist ein Durchhalte-TR. Da ist der Gewinn, dass man es 2 Stunden durchgehalten hat.
That is a high level, or a more high level gradient on the TR0, and that's why it comes on a hard TR course or an advanced auditing and so on like that. Okay?
Das ist ein höherer Gradient von TR0 und das ist, warum man es auf einem Hard-TR-Kurs macht oder auf einem höheren Gradienten von Auditing.
But still, the supervisor must see, even if it's an hour and a half or something, the guy makes a mistake, boom, he starts him over. Because here we're not drilling for just, did you do the TR? We know he's doing it all this time. We're just trying to find out how long he can do it.
Und auch dann, wenn der Supervisor sieht, dass er nach 1,5 Stunden einen Fehler macht, dann gibt er ihm einen Blank und das fängt wieder von vorne an. Weil hier ist nicht die Frage, macht er die TRs, sondern die Frage ist, für wie lange kann er die TRs machen.
And 2 hours is normally the time of a session, so if you can do it for that, okay.
Und 2 Stunden ist die normale Länge für eine Sitzung, also wenn er es so lange machen kann, dann okay.
Okay. In fact, you get good at this, you can do it for 5 or 6 hours or a PC, and then you don't realize they're getting hungry and exhausted and tired, and it's already past midnight or something, and you, oh my goodness, right, too long.
Wenn man darin sehr gut wird, dann kann man es weitermachen für 5 oder 6 Stunden mit einem PC. Und man bemerkt gar nicht, dass die hungrig werden und müde werden und merkt dann das plötzlich, dass das so ist beim PC.
Okay, now, I expect many of you in the later years here, since 65 anyway, got mistrained somehow on this idea of the coach and the student and what the cycles of action are here and how you turn over the control and how you do the flunks and how you do the wins. Is that true? Go ahead.
Ich nehme an, dass viele von euch falsch trainiert worden sind auf diese Idee, was der Coach macht, was der Student macht, was die Aktionszyklen hier sind, wann man die Kontrolle übergibt, wie man Flanken und Gewinn benutzt, etc.
Am I right?
Stimmt das?
Very right.
Well, when LRH called all the flag hard TRs guys up to international,
Als LRH all die Leute, die auf Flag harte TRs gemacht haben, zu sich gerufen hat.
and he called them all up there and put them in a house out in the desert.
Und hat all die Leute zu sich gerufen und hat sie in ein Haus mitten in der Wüste logiert.
And he had videos done of them.
Und hat sie auf Video aufgenommen.
And for about a week, he didn't pass anybody.
Und für ungefähr eine Woche ist überhaupt niemand durchgekommen.
He couldn't figure out why these guys couldn't do TRs.
Und wusste nicht, warum diese Leute keine TRs machen
He wasn't
konnten.
even doing this one. He was just doing regular TRs.
Sie haben nicht das lange gemacht, sondern ganz normale TRs.
And in fact, I think all the time they had been doing it at Flag for 3 months or something, only one guy had passed because they had sent his video up to LRH, and LRH said, yeah, that's good how he did it. He wasn't even an English-speaking, original English-speaking person.
Und in all der Zeit, wo sie es auf Flag gemacht haben, das waren 3 Monate, da kam nur ein einziger durch, dem sein Video zu LRH hingeschickt wurde und wo der LRH gesagt hat, ja, das ist gut.
He was not a Sea Org auditor nor an org auditor, he was a field auditor.
Und es war ein Feldauditor, dessen Sprache nicht einmal Englisch war.
So he got a little bit suspicious of why can't we get anybody through this but one field auditor in 3 months or something.
So, der Ron wurde etwas misstrauisch und sagte, warum können wir da niemanden durchkriegen, außer einem einzigen Feldauditoren während 3 Monaten.
And during that time when they were out in the desert, he asked me to go in and coach these guys
Und als
for one team on video.
sie da draußen in der Wüste waren, hat er ihn gefragt, zu ihm gesagt, er soll da hingehen und die Leute coachen.
To observe first how they were being coached and then sit down, take the place of the coach and do it all on video.
Erst zu schauen, wie sie gecoacht wurden und dann sich hinzusetzen und den Platz des Coach einzunehmen und das alles auf Video zu machen.
And that's because I had written him a note and said, it doesn't look like they're doing the coaching like they used to do in 65.
Und das ist, weil ich ihm eine Notiz geschrieben hatte, wo er sagte, es schaut nicht aus, als würden die das Coachen so machen wie in 65.
Because LRH was desperate on trying to find out why he couldn't get, super level auditors through their TRs. I mean, some of these guys were class 8, class 9, class 10, they couldn't get through their TRs to his satisfaction.
Weil er schon ganz schnell versucht hat herauszufinden, warum die nicht durch die TRs kommen konnten. Da waren einige Klasse 8, Klasse 9, Klasse 10 mit dabei.
So they sent him up the demo of me doing the 65 coaching method on the student.
So sie haben ihm die Demonstration hochgeschickt, wie er diese 65er Coaching-Methode an den Studenten benutzt hat.
And he realized that was one of the main reasons that they weren't getting anybody through, is that the people had forgotten how to coach.
Und da hat er gesehen, das war einer der Hauptgründe, warum sie niemanden durchgekriegt haben. Die Leute wussten nicht mehr, wie man coacht.
And therefore, they were just adding time, because they never would flunk the guy here where it started. They would always let the flunk go on for another 30 seconds, and they'd say, okay, flunk, I noticed you started, your eyes blinking. Because the guy could never spot. Why? Because he never was stopped here, right when he started.
Und so haben sie am Laufe mit der Zeit hinzugefügt, weil sie niemals genau da geflankt haben, wo es angefangen hat, sondern sie haben es 30 Sekunden oder so weiterlaufen lassen. Und dann konnte die Person niemals herausfinden, was es war, das das Flank verursacht hat.
And if he was winning, they would let him go on until he started wondering, well, maybe I'm not winning, and he would change, and then they would say, well, you had a win there, but he could never spot what he was doing when he was winning.
Und wenn er am Gewinnen war, dann haben sie ihn weitermachen lassen, bis er anfing, Zweifel zu haben, ob er es wirklich richtig macht. Und schließlich haben sie ihm gesagt, ja, du hast zwar einen Gewinn gehabt, aber er konnte nie herausfinden, was er richtig gemacht hat.
Or he found that the coaches were being overbearing and trying too hard and not giving control over to the student when they get him started.
Oder die Coaches waren zu hart und haben es zu hart versucht und haben die Kontrolle nicht dem Studenten übergeben, wenn sie einmal gestartet hatten.
So it's almost like granting beingness to the student, you know. Don't sit there and go.
Es ist auch, dass man dem Studenten Beingness gewährt. Man sitzt nicht dort und macht so.
So the coach has to just do observation. If anything, he changes into here PC valence, PC beingness, but an observant PC.
Der Coach muss also nichts machen als Beobachtung, beziehungsweise wenn er irgendetwas tut, dann nimmt er die Beingness von einem PC an. Aber ein beobachtender PC.
And the cause points shift around very subtly. Coach is at cause here.
Und der Ursachpunkt, der wechselt sehr schnell. Hier ist der Coach Ursache.
Turns over control and command to the student.
Und dann übergibt er die Kontrolle und das Kommando dem Studenten.
Immediately changes to a PC, observing PC beingness.
Und er selber wechselt in eine beobachtende PC-Beingness.
And see if the auditor can then grant the PC that the coach now is his beingness.
Und sieht nun, ob der Auditor, dessen PC der Coach nun ist, diesen PC Beingness gewähren kann.
Because remember, you've got to get the pre-clear interested in talking to you and interested in his own case, willing to talk to you, interested in his own case, and let him be at cause over handling those things and commenting about those things in his reactive mind.
Denkt daran, man muss den PC dazu kriegen, dass bereit ist, zu einem zu sprechen und interessiert ist in seinem eigenen Fall. Und man muss ihn Ursache sein lassen, dann diese ganzen Dinge in seinem Fall handzuhalten.
So there's a cause point, moves from here to here, and then immediately this guy becomes the student auditor.
Also der Ursachpunkt bewegt sich von da nach da und diese Person wird nun der Studentenauditor.
All in the same instant, he should give back the cause to this guy as a PC.
Und nun sollte er die Ursache zurückgeben, aber zu ihm als PC.
But remain in control, again, this cycle of control of the TR. In other words, giving the command or doing the acknowledgement or whatever TR is.
Aber er kontrolliert das TR, das heißt, er gibt die Anweisung oder um was es immer in dem TR geht.
See, a start here, and then he gets the control, and then he says, do birds fly? Now this guy's at cause, and he goes blah, 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 and he says, thank you, takes back the control, gives it back. The coach says, that's it, win, takes back the control when he says that. See? The cycle of exchanging cause back and forth in control.
Da ist der Zyklus von Ursache, die hin und her geht.
Now, how many of you learned that when you were taught to do coaching?
Wie viele von euch haben das gelernt, als man ihnen Coaching beigebracht hat?
Where did you get trained?
Bern.
Huh?
In Bern.
Where?
Bern.
Who trained you?
Huh?
Who?
Tony Walter, what's his name?
He knew all of that.
Well, there's one thing in this specific which I don't see through and I never heard about, but all the other things, yes. The one thing is time factor with a win.
Oh, I mean, that's very important.
I mean, you have to have some time in to see a win or have a win TR.
As soon as you see the win,
and then it's a win or a flunk.
Yeah, as soon as you see the win, you say, that's it, win.
Sobald man den Gewinn sieht, sagt man, das war's, Gewinn.
Take a win or whatever. Okay, because look, you want the guy to know what he was doing when he was winning.
Man will, dass die Person weiß, was sie getan hat, als sie am Gewinnen war oder einen Gewinn hatte.
Same as you do, you want him to spot what he was doing when he flunked.
Genau wie man will, dass weiß, was getan hat, wenn man ihn flankt.
All right. Now.
Well, the other things.
Yeah.
Well, I have the idea to have been trained like this.
Now, this way, you get through so many cycles of action so fast that you run out all the flunkable things in maybe 10, 20 minutes of drilling a particular meter drill or a TR or something, and you have the guy winning with it, drill.
Auf diese Art kriegt man so viele Aktionszyklen durch, dass man alle möglichen Flanks in etwa 20 oder 30 Minuten auslaufen kann und die Personen am Gewinnen hat.
And this is exactly like what you're doing in say, a repetitive process.
Und das ist genau das, was man tut in einem wiederholenden, repetitiven Prozess.
Right? Start the process here. Repeat, 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 repeat. FN, VGI's, COG, EP. That's it.
Man fängt den Prozess dort an, wiederholt die ganze Zeit, kommt zu FN, VGI's, Cognition und Endphänomen.
Now what is all this on a PC?
Was ist das alles bei einem PC?
For that question.
Für diese Frage.
What is it all? You know the 4 conditions of existence?
Kennt ihr die 4 Zustände der Existenz?
All of these are the alter is, the not is, that isness is, agreements.
Die Isnesses und Übereinstimmungen.
Right here gets the as is. The truth.
Hier ist die Wahrheit.
If you don't stop, you commit a deadly sin for an auditor, which is called overrun.
Wenn man hier nicht aufhört, dann begeht man eine Todsünde für einen Auditor, die nennt sich Überlaufen.
You have to now go for another process that will get another area as is.
Man nimmt jetzt einen anderen Prozess, der ein anderes Gebiet es ist.
So why the hell can't we apply the axioms in coaching as well?
Warum können wir also die Axiome nicht auch im Coaching anwenden?
Isn't all of Scientology based on the axioms?
Ist nicht die ganze Scientologie basierend auf den Axiomen?
Why can't we get this guy, turn over the cause point to him, he turns over the space to the PC to answer, and he's doing it right, and the coach sees he's doing it right, and he says, that's it, take a win.
Warum können wir nicht schauen, dass diese Person den Ursachepunkt dem unten gibt und er wieder die Beingness zum PC und dann sieht der Coach, dass er etwas richtig macht und sagt zu ihm, das wär's, nimm einen Gewinn.
But if he starts, if he does, and the other thing is, if you say start and he doesn't start, that's a flunk right there.
Und die andere Sache ist, wenn man zu ihm sagt, start und er fängt dann nicht an, dann ist das auch gerade ein Flunk.
And that's one of the reasons sometimes those drills go on for days.
Das ist der Grund, warum solche Drills manchmal tagelang gehen.
And that little number, which I picked up a lot of times on the briefing course on students, is because the student is resisting control.
Und das ist, was sehr oft auf dem Briefingkurs gemerkt hat, der Student widersetzt sich Kontrolle.
He can't have another guy start.
Kann es nicht haben, dass jemand anderes ihm einen Start gibt.
I bet Ingrid understands that.
Die Ingrid versteht es sicher.
And also, therefore, he puts in this disagreement and then starts himself.
Er tut also diese Nicht-Übereinstimmung rein und dann startet er sich selbst.
So, if you don't flunk the guy when he doesn't start,
Wenn man also eine Person nicht flankt, wenn er nicht startet,
he doesn't immediately become an auditor, a student auditor hat, right here, when you say start.
wenn er da nicht sofort den Studentenauditorhut nimmt und das wird, wenn man zu ihm Start sagt,
Then you right away you say flunk, you didn't start.
dann sagt man gerade zu ihm, flank, du hast nicht angefangen.
Start. Flunk, you didn't start. Start. Flunk, you didn't start. Start. Flunk, you didn't start. Okay, that's it. What's happening, man? Well, I guess I don't like to be under control.
Die Person sagt dann, nun, ich mag nicht unter Kontrolle sein und lacht.
Now, if he did the upper indocs, for instance, on a lower briefing course level, we may give him a pink sheet and go back and do the upper indocs with somebody else controlling him so that he can accept control. It wasn't really flat.
Wenn er also die Upper Index gemacht hat, dann gibt man ihm einen Pink Sheet, sodass er das nochmal macht mit jemandem, der ihn kontrolliert, weil er nicht wirklich flach war.
See how easy it is?
Seht ihr, wie leicht es ist?
So.
Ich habe jetzt so
All right.
ein endgültiges Ende.
I want all of you.
There's something I think.
Huh?
Did I misduplicate something? I thought just let me see on the, please, thank you. Who is on the calls? Who is calls? The student or the coach? I thought the
Well,
student.
it changes. It changes
It
over.
changes.
First of all, the supervisor controls the whole thing.
Also der Supervisor, der kontrolliert das Ganze.
He says start. All coaches start. Okay. Now the coach is at cause at that moment.
Jetzt ist der Coach Ursache.
But then he gives
When
it
he
over
says
to the
start,
student.
now he drops the cause at that point and gives the cause over to the
The
student.
student.
Right here. When he says
Okay.
start, now
I
the student's
see.
in charge.
So this.
Nachdem er Start gesagt hat, ist also noch der
Alright.
Student in charge.
The
oder hat
student
Kontrolle.
then gives the command if it's TR1 or starts to confront if it's TR. But the confront itself is a giving over of making the PC at cause to confront his own bank and give back the answer, right? He only takes back, now this guy's not the coach now, he's the student, he's the PC, but also observing the auditor's performance. And he goes along at cause, blah, 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 answers the question. Now at the moment he's finished, and this guy's now the observing, he sees that he's finished, he takes back the cause from here back to here and says thank you.
Also der Student ist hier Ursache und dann übergibt er die Ursache an den beobachtenden PC, was der Coach nun ist, und er lässt ihn Ursache sein, bis er gesehen hat, dass der die Antwort hat. Und im Moment, wo er die Antwort gegeben hat, übernimmt er die Ursache wieder und sagt Danke.
You see, that's controls, like start and stop. But in the middle, both the coach is letting, in the middle of this start and stop, letting the student auditor be an auditor. And in the middle of the student auditor's do birds fly and thank you, he's letting the coach be the PC. That's
Also
cause.
zwischen dem
We're
Start,
finding out what it is.
zwischen dem Start und dem Stopp tun sowohl der Coach dazwischen den Studenten einen Studenten-Auditor sein lassen und der Studenten-Auditor lässt der PC zwischen seinem Start und Stopp lässt den Coach einen beobachtenden PC sein.
Okay, when he says thank you, the student auditor is in charge. If he did it right, coach now takes back the charge and says that's it. When?
Wenn er es nun richtig gemacht hat, dann sagt der Studenten-Auditor, wenn er die Antwort bekommen hat, sagt der Studenten-Auditor Danke, und wenn er es richtig gemacht hat, dann nimmt der Coach die Kontrolle zurück und sagt Danke, das ist ein Gewinn. Oder der sieht, das ist ein Gewinn.
Now at this point in the middle, both the student auditor and the coach, quote, PC, are both doing observation of the other guy.
Und in der Mitte tun sowohl der Studentenauditor wie auch der Coach als PC den anderen beobachten.
You know the old saying, when a coach, be a coach. When an auditor, be an auditor, or a student, be a student. Well, it's also when being a coach, PC, be a coach, and then a PC, and then a coach. And here it's be a student, then an auditor, then a student.
Das kommt vom alten Spruch, wenn man ein Coach ist, dann soll man ein Coach sein. Oder wenn man ein Student ist, soll man ein Student sein. Und hier hat man einen Student, der dann ein Auditor ist und ein Coach, der dann ein PC ist.
Yeah. So that's the two cycles, that's the two beingness that are in the middle of this cycle. Student is an auditor, coach is PC.
Also die zwei beingnesses in der Mitte des Zyklus sind, der Coach ist dann der Auditor und der Student ist dann der Auditor und der Coach ist dann ein PC.
Okay? So that's when the cycles of cause and effect switch, right at the start and right at the end.
Und am Anfang und am Ende, da wechselt die Ursache.
Okay?
Und das ist der Punkt, wo der Student protestieren könnte, dass er jetzt nicht Ursache ist. Also dem Moment, wo der Coach Start sagt.
And that's where the student could protest that he's not cause when he gets started by the coach.
Das war nämlich das Verwirrende. That was confusing. Yeah, okay, thank you very much.
That's right. Okay, now it's a lot easier to do this than to show it in a chart, actually.
Es ist viel leichter, das zu tun, als eine Karte darüber zu zeichnen.
But I'm glad we found this because it's one of the very important parts when training auditors and getting people through drills and so on.
Aber ist froh, dass wir das gefunden haben, weil es ein sehr wichtiger Punkt ist, wenn man Auditoren trainiert oder Leute durch Drills durchkriegen will.
Because look, all you want to do when the guy run out all the mistakes he's making.
Alles, was man tun will mit der Person, ist all die Fehler, die macht, auslaufen.
When he can do it right, he can do it right.
Wenn es mal richtig kann, dann kann das.
So, this could also look like this. Start, that's it, fine, very good.
It could.
This short time.
It could be very short.
Es könnte also auch sehr kurz sein.
But boy, you'd see really good auditors coming out of there.
Aber da kommen dann wirklich gute Auditoren raus.
The reason a supervisor is there is so that the coach doesn't make a mistake.
Der Grund, warum ein Supervisor da ist, ist, dass der Coach keine Fehler macht.
And doesn't pass a guy when he shouldn't be passed.
Und dass einen Studenten nicht durchlässt, den man nicht durchlassen sollte.
Or doesn't flunk him when he shouldn't be flunked.
Und ihn auch nicht flankt, wenn nicht geflankt werden sollte.
And does flunk him when he should be flunked.
Und ihn flankt, wenn geflankt werden sollte.
And gets a win when he should.
Und seinen Gewinn kriegt, wenn das sollte.
That's all a coach has to do.
Das alles,
Because he's supposed to know all these things much better than the coach or the student, no matter which side they're sitting on.
Der Supervisor sollte das alles viel besser wissen als der Coach oder der Student.
And that's why all the supervisors of the briefing course had to be briefing course graduates.
Und das ist, warum all die Supervisor auf dem Briefingkurs ihn selbst gemacht haben mussten.
Okay, question?
Another question, yes, sometimes when you don't know a person, you have doubts. You just feel something is wrong, but you really can't figure out whether it's really wrong, you know, what it is. So what do you do then? Do you just wait?
You flunk them and say, what happened?
Sie hat gefragt, wenn man eine Person nicht kennt, dann hat man manchmal Zweifel und kann aber nicht genau ausfigern, was es ist. Was tut man dann? Und er hat gesagt, man flankt die Person und fragt,
actually,
was
it's another
passiert.
word. Yeah, that's flunk, that's it, what happened. Because you have to flunk them, still in the drill, that's it, to end the drill for a moment and ask them what happened.
Man muss ja also sagen, flank für ihn im Drill, that's it, um den Drill zu beenden und dann fragt man sich, was ist passiert.
Okay, and you just say, I didn't feel certain about it. What did you, if he asked, well, I don't know, well, I didn't feel certain about it. Just, let's do it again. Maybe you spot it this time.
Und dann sagt man ihm einfach,
You see it again, boom.
dann
You
sagt
say
man ihm,
start, boom. But
dann sagt man ihm einfach, dann sagt man ihm einfach, ich habe mich nicht sicher gefühlt, was war es? Und wenn er das nicht weiß, dann sagt man, naja, tun wir es nochmal, Start.
see, you're getting the cognition by having the guy observe what it is he's doing at this moment when he flunks, or even at the beginning. So you can just repeat it enough times until the guy, there it is. Boom.
Man erreicht die Cognition oder kriegt die Cognition, wenn man die Person genau anflankt, wann es ist. Und wenn man das oft genug macht, dann wird er es irgendwann finden. Na, das ist es.
A lot of talking about it won't ever find it.
Wenn man viel darüber redet, das bringt nichts.
Too late on the chain.
Zu spät auf der Kette.
So if the guy can't tell you right away, say, okay, we'll do it again. Start. There it is again. Flunk. Okay. Start. There it is again. Flunk. Okay, that's it. What happened? Oh, that time I sort of realized, yeah, it's something I'm doing, you know. You can get it. Sooner or later, you'll get it.
Also wenn er es einem nicht gleich sagen kann, dann macht man einfach weiter mit ihm ein paar Mal und dann fängt er es an zu kriegen, was es ist.
But it's little boom, 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 little cycles like that allow him to cognize.
Es sind kleine Zyklen, die ihn erlauben, dann die Cognition zu haben.
Yes.
Yes, I have a question. Because sometimes you know there is a really specific mistake, and both you know, and sometimes you need to wait a little bit. Then just it's like you go through something, and after a certain moment, it's finished.
What?
Do you understand what I mean? When you are, because especially when it's long training, and the basic is okay. So it's not the first course of training. And I notice sometimes that you can stop every time, or you can just, you know that the same mistake is coming, and you wait a little bit for that, and then it's finished and it's in. Do you understand what I mean? It's quite
The same mistake is coming.
Yes.
I mean, it already came once.
Yes, and it's just like the students need to go through something and then it's in. Does it mean that it's systematically the mistakes you have to stop every time, or in certain time you can go through that and put it in?
It sounds like there you're evaluating how bad the mistake is. It sounds like you're saying what Ellery said about I can always spot an ARC break coming in a session an hour before the auditor does.
Das tönt wie wenn was hier gesagt hat, ist, dass ein Fehler, dass weiß, dass ein Fehler kommt und dann für eine gewisse Zeit da ist und der Student da durchgehen muss.
It sounds like it's a gradient thing. Something is happening to the guy's TR or something like that. It's getting worse, and now you can really see it. So you're now flunking here. No, you should flunk it back here.
Es schaut aus wie eine Gradientensache. Es ist da was in den TRs von der Person und es wird immer schlimmer und schlimmer und plötzlich offensichtlich, aber man sollte ihn ganz am Anfang flanken.
If you cut it out at the root here, where it really happened, you won't see this coming anymore.
Wenn man es bei der Wurzel packt, dann kommt es nicht so stark.
See, his eyes start rolling around very slowly, and then they go like this. Well, if you keep plunking him on the head, you'll never get back to why the eyes started rolling around.
Seine Augen fangen sich an zu bewegen, ganz langsam, und dann gehen sie auseinander und dann lacht er. Und man fängt an, wenn das anfängt, sonst weiß er nie, was es auslöst.
It's obviously an automatic sequence. It goes like...
Es ist offensichtlich eine automatische Reihenfolge.
But if you flunk him there, correct that. Now you look, if the other one's in there, then you flunk that one.
Man flankt ihn ganz am Anfang, korrigiert das und dann schaut man, was das nächste ist und flankt das.
Okay? Yeah.
Another question, but this applies to auditors, professional TRs. Not, I mean, when you start people, then you're happy when they just sit on a chair for some time. Isn't that right? I mean, depending on who.
All TRs are done on a gradient, yes.
Yeah.
I know.
Sie hat gesagt, das gilt nun für...
But it is better to go through the TRs many times, improving the quality each time, rather than sticking on one that's in the original 1965, I believe 64 or 63 TRs, modernized bulletin. It is better to go through them many times, several times, getting more and more, whatever, tougher or whatever. But this is what we're talking about. On a briefing course, you do all the meter drills and all the TRs after each level. So it is not unusual that you can do this, get some good wins on the guys, get them auditing real good, and then at the end of the next week, okay, we do another round, TRs, meter drills. See?
Ja. Sie hat gefragt auf einem, das ist nun für Auditoren-TRs, also für professionelle Auditoren bei einem einer neuen Person wäre man schon froh, wenn sie auf dem Stuhl eine Weile sitzt. Und er hat gesagt, ja, es gibt Gradienten im TRs, das hat man im TRs modernisiert, Bulletin. Man geht da viele Male durch und auf dem Briefingkurs haben wir es so gemacht, dass sie x-mal durch die Metadrills und durch die TRs gegangen sind, die Leute dazwischen gut arretiert haben und man dann wieder eine Runde davon gemacht hat.
Okay, now I want you to do, each of you, with your twins, first inside guys here will be coaches. Oh, wait,
Die Leute
somebody
innen
missed-
sind und Coaches.
Okay, inside guys, coaches. And coach the guy like we just talked about to a good win on TR0, auditor TR0. Okay?
Und dann coacht die Leute so, wie wir eben besprochen haben, bis zu einem guten Gewinn auf Auditoren TR0.
Start. Come on, you all of you didn't start. You coaches, start. Hey, wait a minute. You don't have somebody over there. What happened? I ate C out, you see. Hey, they're the only ones that started. No, they started. Okay, start. Yeah, that's right. There was a flunk right there. You even could have caught it earlier. Come on, move up to speed. Move up to speed. He's got to catch right before he starts laughing. Go ahead.
Okay. Start.
Ich habe jetzt ja verstanden, ob du dieses Lied oder das nicht gut.
That's it.
Take a win. That's it. Take a win. Okay, change over.
Okay. Das ist war kurz. Ja, gut. Das ist gedacht. He was doing okay. I have to say that's it.
That's it. Take a win. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good.
And then we start again.
No, you're going to then switch over. I just wanted each of you to do it to a win.
You feeling?
You cycle through the TRs. You cycle through the TRs. The TR modernized, 1963. It's better to cycle through. We're not dealing with new people here. I expect him to win very fast. Come on. Then you switch over. He becomes the coach and you become the student.
I gave you that's it.
Yes.
And I stopped.
Did you give it, was it a win or a flunk?
No, it was a win.
Good. Change over. That's all we want to do. Get each side through. Good, you've done it both? Yes. Good, both? Good, both? Both?
Jetzt machst du noch 2 Stunden.
Both? Both here? You did both?
Yeah.
Okay, who didn't finish? Did you do both? Good. How about this guy? What we used to do at St. Hill. If you're a BC Blue, go get him. Send the guys out running in the middle of the night. Go get your BC, don't come back without him.
I suppose she has had to win.
Okay, you guys do TR to a win both ways. Start. Now you guys have done that already. Do a TR1 with do birds fly to win both ways, or do fish swim, either one. Do it to win both ways, same way.
Also den Answering as a coach.
TR1.
Okay.
Oh, you didn't translate it?
I still didn't know why. Training, and then you shall write the
Wenn es richtig rüberkommt, wenn es nicht richtig
It's not going to comment on anything outside of what he does immediately. You understand? So just start her again and get her spot. Right? And you start doing it. You start.
Okay.
Two birds fly. Für mich muss ich Two birds fly. Two birds fly.
Okay. Yes, yes. Well, sure, it can be okay. Then you change. You're done? Oh, do it first. Okay, the other way here.
Dat niet meer zo spannend is.
That's well, I'm not sure. He's not sure. Okay, we're done.
Start. Yes.
Start.
No. Let's do it just. Start.
Shall we do here Urlaub? Kritische Begriffe machen Space.
When? Change your okay. Yeah. You already did say
Also manchmal einfach so ein Statement findest, du musst hier etwas zurück.
Thank you.
I don't feel really stopped. I just feel like
Nachher ist es gut. Natürlich aber nicht lang. Aber dann wird es different ways. Und vorher bin ich jetzt wäre schon higher. Der Zudecker ab über Start, das ist nicht, wenn Sie acknowledgement question start.
Yeah.
Birds fly.
Thank you.
Only question.
I don't feel activate.
Okay. So sure.
What is it exactly? What it is exactly? Doesn't it come to you?
Yes. Yes. I just tell you outside something automatic.
Ja oder Nein sagen.
Ja, ich
Ja, du kannst einfach 2 Arten. Die eine kannst du nur mal machen, gerade zu da. Die andere Art musst du
noch nicht ganz stark.
Probieren wir mal so, wirklich jeder Sache
Birds fly.
Ja.
Der Fische schwimmt.
Manche
Definitiv. Ich konnte nicht wirklich bestätigen.
The other surveillance.
Start.
Zu wenig auf.
Birds fly.
Thank you.
Okay, go to the next round. Finish 2. Go to 3. One would That's great. Later on, go to. I mean, your class 4s we could go to. Okay, you got 4 acknowledgements.
Not enough.
I want to carry on.
Okay.
Right now, we're just demonstrating.
Okay.
One good win.
It's a good win as a coach. Just as a command.
Okay.
Bist du kurz jetzt?
I'm a coach. Lot of years.
Genau, du musst einfach irgendeine Antwort geben und
Yeah, no problem. Whether she's happy or I'm happy, we are never found.
genau, da war jetzt mehrere Zonen.
Yes, and whether I think it's
Bereits
good.
Auditorin.
Let me watch it. Let me watch it. Let me watch it. Which one are you doing? Which one?
0.
Okay, start. Flunk, baby. Flunk, baby. It's not fun. It's not fun. She did 3 different things during that period between when you said, that's fine. All right? She started with TR, then changed to some other consideration in there, then blinked her eyes. And was totally out of control. The body was totally out of control. So, you watch for the first.
That's what I told, but I didn't see it now.
Nah, but you didn't see it now. You see, therefore you've been flunking too late. Or you've been giving the wind too late. Either one. I don't know which it is yet, but we got to do it right. So start her again. That's it. That's it. You are when you're starting with a rigidity. There's some you do to stiffen up when you start. You just want to go into an auditor TRs. If you were auditing somebody, this is the PC. So you don't want to go stiff on us when he says start. He's now a PC when he says start. So you've got to now confront him as PC. Okay? And let him be a cause of what he said. Okay, start. Okay, that's it, Funk. Went through a couple of adjustments there. You didn't start right away. Okay, that's it, Funk. Cracking up. Funk did not start.
Thank you.
Okay, that's it. What happened? What Okay, where was the wind?
Closing the cycle.
Okay. Start. Sehr
Birds fly.
Okay.
Good. Birds fly.
Fine.
Nicht bestimmt genug.
Fine is a bit
Sollen die jetzt alle durchgehen? Nicht schön.
Okay.
You feel it?
Yeah, really
It's just simple.
Me personally, I went through all of this. Not to be abused.
Okay.
The same thing you did before. Okay? Okay? I'll make sure.
Yeah, I run into lots of such things on TRs when I get them. There, you know,
Don't be confused.
that's fine. So I should probably also not coach very well. Here, two.
Komm mit.
Birds fly.
Okay.
Fish swim.
Very well.
Dogs bark.
Okay.
For a bit. It came very well.
Don't feel validated.
Dogs bark.
Make sure.
Okay.
We get the right spot. Okay.
Fish swim.
And swim.
That was half an knowledge.
There's some emotion coming with the PR.
Right. Get used to
So remember, put your space out again. Move outside the game a little bit. Look at the emotions of the game into it. Just say, okay, it's all right for this guy to be here inside your space.
Okay.
That's right. Birds fly.
Good.
Dogs bark.
Very good.
Okay, that's much better. Much better. Okay, still a little bit. You seem to be pushing it back out of the way, but that's good. Now just
You really feel even in session.
as a,
Yeah.
Yes, but the same thing in session.
okay.
I felt otherwise it's
Getting much better. Still a little bit of recharge there. It's getting further and further away. We're getting back to that loss and get to the win. Then PC, get the space out there. Start.
Or do we here 2.5?
That's it. Now, you see what was having to happen? Probably got confusion, overran the wind earlier. Because she wasn't sure, and then you weren't sure. You had this I want to just check something out. Sylvie? Okay, let Sylvie sit there for a minute. See, the reason I did change everybody
Am liebsten würde ich jetzt gerne
because I didn't want people to select people they had mutual roots with. Change them all around. Okay, so I just want to check she can do it with somebody else. Just the one big one. Okay?
Ja, ne? Wenn ich scheint mir so Realität. Ja, ich war straight. Start.
Let's take a look at it over his shoulder. Please get across to you. Put the command.
Thank you. Do the fish swim. Do the fish swim.
Now wait a minute.
For a little bit of
When you give
I feel I'm like, do the fish swim, doing something instead, not real. Thank you. Do the fish swim.
all right. Get the idea. See, because it's not the whole command you're doing that with.
Do the fish swim.
You're doing it like a dragonfly's tongue.
the fish swim.
You're sitting it out and you're going. Just the last part. You're pulling it back. Isn't that what he's doing? Like this. The last.
Weißt du, ich tue es dort, zurückkommen.
At the end. It's not impinged, it's starting to impinge like it's coming back. It's coming here and then before the end of the command. So you're missing one line there. Did the pre-clear get the command?
I like doing that.
You have to keep the attention there, all through it. Reverse, fly. You got it? Okay, now you can let it be a thought.
I'm not sure if I did one spot and you were a little bit more
Fly. I was really, I think really
Better, yeah.
selber nicht.
Very good. Okay, that's it. Take a little break. Just want to see everybody that's not finished sitting down. Move over there.
Super, da kann man wenig
Finished?
Ja, genau, das ist es.
Yes. TR4, 3 and 4. Take a break.
Mach es denn mal weg. Demanding.
Yeah, we want to finish with you. One of you, one of you line, do vertical line, let him do it.
Wurde aufgefordert, eine Frage zu beantworten. Okay, halt das Bein einfach mit an.
Okay, which one you want to do? Yeah, okay. You work with Helga and we finish up for you.
Lauter Fisch, demand. Big demand from me. Do bird. Weißt du so?
That's really stupid question.
Good. Take a break. Get up and walk around. See your fin.
I think you should have good times with time.
Okay, just move out of the thing so I can see who's finished.
Yes. It's really a stupid question.
Finished?
Yes.
Good. Take a break. Move off the way so I can see who's not finished.
When you repeat your little question. Yes.
Finished? Good. TR4? Done? Take a break so I can see who's not finished.
Yes.
That was fun, huh?
Yes.
It's really a stupid question.
Do fish swim?
Wir machen ja das Gleiche.
Blank. It's just actually every time you miss the same problem.
Das Problem ist, es ist das Post-Effekt. Versuche wirklich
Yes.
diesen Moment, wo du eine Frage stellst, Ursache. 100% Ursache.
Okay.
Und dann, wenn du fertig bist mit der Ursache, dann kannst du dich zurücklehnen.
Yes.
Und dann gibt es die Antwort. Und dann kommst du wieder mit der Ursache. Dann
Repeat your thing question. Again.
Yes.
Start.
Do birds fly?
Okay, start.
Do fish
Yes, they
swim?
fly.
Yes.
Good. Thank you. Do fish swim?
It's really a stupid question.
Repeat your thing question. Do fish swim?
Yes.
Du überlegen müsstest, ob mich das bestätigen willst oder nicht. Gut? Okay?
Repeat your thing question. Do fish swim?
But I told you already that I'm bored.
Repeat your thing question. Do fish swim?
But I'm really bored.
Ich bin noch nicht gelernt.
Repeat your thing question. Do fish swim?
I think you can't understand that I'm bored here. I want to leave.
Repeat your thing question. Do fish swim?
Ah, schön, das war gut.
I'm not sure you understand that I want to leave.
Das war gut, ja.
I'll repeat your thing question. Do fish swim?
Oh, there are 4. Okay, Plank, will you be testing your eyes again?
Yeah.
That's it. I just want to ask you a question. Do you normally audit in English?
No.
Hey.
Wait,
Come on, you're trying to give a different, do TRs in a different language than he normally does.
yes, I know that.
Yeah, well, I have done a lot of TRs in English.
Well, you have done.
Yeah, I've
Okay,
done
well,
TRs,
that's
but
all
I
right.
don't normally
That's all
audit in English.
I thought he only did them in German before, but of course you're going to do a different language.
Yes, we told each other that because it's the same thing for
Same
me.
for you, okay. All right, carry on.
No, that's why I don't
Yeah,
pay very much attention about
Four.
accents
Yeah.
and all that stuff.
Yes, do 4 both ways,
Okay?
then take a break.
Okay. Okay.
One good
Start.
one.
Do fish swim?
As you know, it's really a stupid question.
Repeat your thing question. Do fish swim?
But you know that I'm bored here.
Genau. Danach wird die
Repeat your
Organisation
thing question.
verstanden.
Do fish swim?
I'm not sure you understand what I mean, but I'm bored here.
Stop. I repeat your thing question.
Erklären,
Do fish swim?
Okay.
verstehen,
Will
bestätigen.
it start coming again?
Bis zum Moment, was du gerade gesagt hast.
Okay. Start.
Do fish swim?
I'm bored here.
I repeat your thing question. Do fish swim?
I think you don't understand what I mean. I'm really bored.
Schwimmen?
I repeat your thing question. Do fish swim?
But I'm really bored here.
I repeat your thing question.
Okay, fine.
Ja, also war ich noch immer noch nicht konstant, aber in dem Moment, wo du die Anfang
Do fish swim?
gemacht und wenn
That's one.
I repeat your thing question.
Okay, now,
Do fish swim?
I'm really bored here.
we want to do
I repeat your thing question.
TR
Do
1,
fish swim?
But do you know that I'm really bored here?
but we can probably get
I
somebody
repeat your thing question.
who,
fish
somebody
swim?
out there that you work with.
Yes.
Good. Do fish swim?
Okay,
Yes.
you want to do it, or does
Yeah, I'll do it.
See, it was just that I
Do
wanted her
fish
to get
swim?
practice on doing it with somebody else too, so you can do it both ways. You want to win each, okay?
Okay.
TR 1, then TR 2.
I repeat your thing question.
That's one good
Do
win.
fish swim?
Okay, das wär's.
Yeah.
2, 3 und 4 habe ich einmal.
I repeat your thing question.
Eben noch was passiert?
Do fish swim?
Ich habe noch ein bisschen
Yes.
anstrengend.
Do fish
Soll
swim?
du auch durch mich coachen?
Yes.
What are you doing? TR 4. Differentiation between originations and
Yeah, my goodness.
comments.
Yeah, I had a win on it.
differentiation between originations and comments. So the question is, was that an origination or a comment?
It was interesting.
You intended it as a comment.
Let's start the fourth.
Yeah.
Then he shouldn't have acknowledged it.
I am coach.
He didn't acknowledge.
He what?
He didn't acknowledge.
Sollen wir es
You
lassen?
just said you intended it as a comment. So he was correct in not acknowledging it.
Aha, nicht, dass man...
See, you can say, look, this is an origination. I just realized you have a nice tie there. I really like the colors.
Oh, you know.
And then on the other hand, you say, you have a nice tie. That's
Such a wonderful dream.
See? Now, it's the intention with which you put the words, whether you make it original
Maybe
or
I'm.
comment.
No, I know you.
Cognition better be acknowledged.
Because
A real origination, a new
maybe
awareness, or a new,
say to you
hey,
that
you
sensation.
know, the room is getting bigger and all that.
For the first time.
But a comment,
My life.
I don't like this, something like that, means it's, well, the charge coming out of the process, so you want to get to answer the question.
Excuse me, but I think it was your wife.
But the intention is giving it. All right, so
it's okay.
Ja,
You
eins
don't.
you was correct. You intended it as a
Was
comment.
weiß ich ja.
You was correct in not flunking.
Really, you sure it's
Correct,
okay?
you did.
I wasn't coach. I was not sure.
Ah,
I did a command.
okay, I'm glad because I didn't dare to tell you that.
Okay, well, just flatten it out now, you got that straightened out.
Continue with the process.
To a good,
Yes.
Bis auf das Thema.
Okay.
Du fisch swim.
Okay.
right. But intend, whether it's an origination or a comment.
You like to breathe again, and you lose your training. See? Just
I
to,
didn't get what you meant.
because very quickly, the handling was really well, no problem. But just you look at that, you lost your TR, and you can
Put it in back.
Also irgendwie einfach weggeschweift. So.
Genau hinziehst, ist raus.
Okay, start.
Du fisch swim.
Du meinst, taucht ja...
I just wanted to tell you that
Außerdem
I did such a wonderful
Ja, weißt du,
dream.
ist das wirklich etwas, das mit
Now, maybe I shouldn't tell you
Bis auf
that.
das der Körper. Das sind das wir.
dressing in his own face?
Just
Okay.
for the
But if he
first
does
time,
good, just one good
the
win.
life of my life, the wife of my life.
Plötzlich aus der Sitzung rausgefahren. Du wolltest ihn zurück.
So?
Yes, it was your
Wir
wife.
gehen zurück zum
But maybe I shouldn't tell you that.
That's okay.
Okay, fine. Stop you.
Okay, don't get too difficult, fellas. This is class 4, of course, all right? Start.
How?
Okay, start.
Du fisch swim.
Bitte.
Ich habe überhaupt nicht verstanden, was du gesagt hast. Ich wusste nicht, ob du mich dein Sinn gesagt hast.
Aber maybe I shouldn't tell you that.
Das ist ein Meter, mit dem ich schon lange nicht mehr gearbeitet habe.
I dream of you, wife.
Kann man
It was really a wonderful
Bestohlen, die auditiert werden.
Schwimmenfisch.
Schwimmen?
Okay.
Zwei?
Schwimmenfisch.
All to that?
Ich stehe
Yes,
nicht.
yes.
Good.
Starte.
Let's go back to the
Gibt auch
process.
gleich was.
Du fisch swim.
Schwimmen?
Yes.
Good.
Yeah,
Du fisch
that's
swim.
Schön an.
Die ersten sind schon gegangen.
Very good. Du fisch swim.
Start.
Das war keine Absicht. Das war mehr so eine Aufforderung zum Weiterspringen. Stimme ging hoch.
I think I'm going to die with your fucking
Das
presence.
erste
Die
sind
Frage
schon
kann
gegangen.
nicht zu mir hinübergehen. Ich verlange etwas von mir.
Was you turn on this process?
Gib es mir jetzt. Weißt du wirklich, ich will es, wie ich es will.
Don't you have any medicine?
Sehr gut, das war jetzt gut. Das war
Interessanter Abend.
If it goes away, we
Stop.
carry on.
Are you sure of that?
Let's just try. Okay.
Das ist eine schwierige Frage. Ich habe so ein Wort gesehen. Ja, die schwimmen.
Give you the next question.
Weißt du, wenn ich Fisch höre, dann weiß ich nie, ob ich jetzt
That's it. You should flunk him early because he was using his head
Okay,
to carry through the intention of his trying to get you to come It's all right, it's all right, it's all right, it's all right. Use your TRs to do that. Okay? Yeah, I caught it. He knew he was doing that. You didn't flunk him on that. He must have pushed his TRs across with his head for about 3 or 4 times. Okay, okay. Sorry.
Du fisch swim.
You know, I have enormous stomach.
Tell me about it.
Ich immer eine Katze. Ich weiß ja nicht genau, dass die Katze ist so böse da und
That's the beginning of the process.
ich weiß nicht, was ich das soll.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, that's fun. He's going into, when you ask him questions, when you're trying to do two-way com, bring him back to the set.
Also wenn ja, genau.
When you ask him a question, that's already on the process.
Wusste gar nicht, warum was ich sage. Okay.
Well, I just have to get all of what it is, so I can duplicate it.
You want to duplicate it, but when you say something like this, you start. You know, the beginning and so on like that. And you know it was turned on by the process. So the process is going to handle it. So don't ask, when did it start, or what are your considerations about that? You can say, tell me about it. Who's writing PT? The guy tells you about it, say, good. Continuing the process will handle that. You know, I'll repeat the order question. Bang, right? You don't have to go into another process. That's a Q&A. Okay. Correct flunk. We're a little late. Okay, let's start.
Okay.
Stop. Du fisch
Okay? Good.
Oh, what happened?
Just during this process, I just felt my stomach really hurting.
Oh, I see. The process will handle it. I just give you the next one. Du fisch swim.
Yes, I'm rather willing to talk about it, but it's not so much.
Can you try?
Yes, I can try.
Okay.
Ich habe ja nicht schriftlich angemessen.
Du fisch swim.
Yes.
Wenn du dich
Good.
verstanden fühlst und
Du fisch swim.
But shit, you can find all the errors. But you get to one good win on the
Yeah.
whole run.
Good.
You can find all
Du
the
fisch
outcomes
swim.
of the auditors in about half
Ist das so?
That's it.
Kannst du das?
I think it's okay.
Yeah, another win on it.
Yeah, that's great. I couldn't really carry on everything.
Ja, wie hast du das jetzt empfunden? Als
You haven't done it yet, huh?
Bist du dich aufgefordert, von zu viel, bis es angekommen jetzt von viel.
Als Bestätigung ist es angesprochen.
Are you ready? Good. Start.
Als Bestätigung
No.
Okay.
Ja,
Du fisch swim.
wo ist der Unterschied?
Ja, aber Sie
I
sehen
just feel
zu viel.
my leg is hurting.
Find it right away.
Ja, aber finde ich auch eigentlich
I think I should have another walkabout.
Ja, aber du darfst doch nicht als Bestätigung.
Well, let's carry on the process. Are you right?
Und dasselbe ist, das habe ich auch gemerkt.
Ach so,
im
so
Post-
Still hurting a bit.
negativ bewusst gesagt.
Yes, okay, let's carry on the process. Well, I repeat my repeating command.
Kissing each other.
Do fish swim?
Yeah.
Thank you.
That's the
Do fish swim?
Wenn es mich auffordert, das jetzt zu
Thank you.
rechtfertigen.
Good, that's fine. That's it.
Okay?
Really happy with it.
Okay? Okay? Finished? Well, okay. Take a break.
Das habe ich auch gemerkt.
Als Antwort, als
Eine
Bestätigung.
Bestätigung.
Was?
Ist das nicht zu weit als Bestätigung? Das habe ich auch gemerkt.
Evaluating.
Ja?
Ja.
Viel zu viel.
Ja.
Und dann das
Das
andere
is
auch mit.
een grensval. Het gaat om zeer mostly evaluative.
Steht das drin?
Ja, bewerten.
Bewertung.
Dann noch mehr als sagen, du hast es gekriegt.
Gefällt das andere von Okay, danke.
Gut,
Gut.
vom TR her ohne Wortlaut.
Okay, which one are you on? Finished?
Ja, ich weiß.
Yeah, good. Take a break. 5 minutes and then come back in, final briefing, and then we back up. Tell them, yeah, just 5 minutes, come in. So. You can pick up your meter. Turn it off.
Könnt das Meter ausmachen, falls ihr es anhabt.
Too late for session time right now.
Iedereen is still on the toilet.
Yeah, somebody's still. No. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 11, 12. 2 people.
2 people.
12.
Can I ask you a question?
2 people. There's 2 people missing. Yeah, wait till everybody gets here. Okay, I just want to read you this last sentence on the last part of TR's modernized, training routines modernized, training drills modernized, 1961. It says here canceled. But that's what you've been doing. Okay? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 14th man. So I'll read you the sentence.
Liest also jetzt diesen Satz.
It is better to go through these TRs several times, getting tougher each time, than to hang up on one TR.
Es ist besser, mehrmals durch diese TRs zu gehen und jedes Mal härter zu werden, als bei einem TR stecken zu bleiben.
On one TR forever, or to be so tough at the start, the student goes into a decline.
Also besser als auf einem TR für immer stecken zu bleiben oder so steil am Anfang zu sein oder so streng, dass der Student nach unten geht oder sich verschlechtert.
Now that is a very important sentence. And if you don't,
Das ist ein sehr wichtiger Satz.
And if you don't follow that as a coach or as a supervisor or as a coach, you will get that effect. The student will go into a decline and you have a lot of trouble.
Und wenn man das als Coach oder als Supervisor nicht befolgt, dann kriegt man diesen Effekt. Der Student wird in eine Menge Schwierigkeiten kommen.
So what we did was do to the first win.
So was wir gemacht haben, war bis zu einem ersten Gewinn.
Each way.
Auf beide Seiten.
Now, if you were working with a class of students and so on, and you did TRs routinely every week or every few days, you could then, after everybody's got it to the first win, and they can go through that pretty easy, you could then increase it to, okay, go through it till you get 3 consecutive wins.
Wenn man also mit einer ganzen Klasse oder einer ganzen Gruppe operiert, wo man jede Woche einmal TRs macht und jeder schafft es ziemlich leicht, bis zum ersten Gewinn zu kommen, dann könnte man das verlängern, dass man sagt, okay, jetzt machen wir bis zu 3 aufeinanderfolgenden Gewinnen.
You see, so on TR0 would be, that's it, take a win, okay, we're going to go for 2 more, start, and do the TR0. The TR1 could be done 3 good commands in a row. You see, 3 good TR1s in a row. 2, 3 good acknowledgements in a row, etc. Okay?
Man würde es also so machen beim TR0, dass man ihm sagt, das war's, du hast einen Gewinn, jetzt machen wir noch 2 Mal das. Und beim TR1 würde man das so machen, bis er 3 Commands in einer Reihenfolge richtig gegeben hat und beim TR2 3 gute Bestätigungen etc.
You see what I'm saying? The TR0, you can't just say 3 good TR0s, because the guy's doing it right, win. You have to start him again. Doing it right, win. Doing it right, win. 3 in a row.
Beim TR0 kann man also nicht sagen, 3 gute TR0s. Er macht es richtig, dann hat er einen Gewinn, macht es wieder richtig, hat einen Gewinn und das nochmal.
Well, you have a definite cycle which you can identify as the win, like an acknowledgement or a command or a cycle of TR3 or 4. You can then say 3 in a row.
Wo man einen definitiven Zyklus hat, den man als Gewinn identifizieren kann, wie bei einem Satz oder einer Bestätigung, da kann man sagen 3 Mal hintereinander.
And later on you could increase the TR thing. Instead of just 3 in a row wins on TR0, you could say, okay, you do it correctly for 5 minutes.
Und später kann man es dann noch steigern, indem man sagt, anstelle dass man es 3-mal bis zu einem Gewinn macht, könnte man das TR0 für 5 Minuten machen.
I want to point out again that in the logics and pre-logics, Ellerich says that all problems can be solved by the use of gradient scales.
Und will darauf hinweisen, dass in den Logiken und in den Pre-Logics Ron sagt, alle Probleme können durch Gradientenskalen gelöst werden.
So using gradient scale on training an auditor will get you very good auditors.
Wenn man die Gradientenskala im Auditorentraining benutzt, dann kriegt man sehr gute Auditoren.
Without any problems.
Und zwar ohne Problem.
So all these other alterations of things which have come since this bulletin apparently was canceled or revised, or it doesn't say revised, it's canceled.
All diese Veränderungen, die gekommen sind, seit dieses Bulletin offensichtlich gecancelt worden ist, nicht mal revidiert, sondern gecancelt.
Then perhaps somebody later on, past 1980, when Ron wasn't on the lines exactly and so on, they snuck something through maybe that fit in with the current intention of the day, and they said everybody's got to do it for 2 hours and so on like that. And on the TRs, they have to do it for 30 minutes continuously or something like that. There were hidden standards coming into this and no gradients.
Und vielleicht hat jemand nach 1980, als der Ron nicht genau auf den Linien war, da etwas reingeschmuggelt, das eher zum heutigen Tagesgeschehen passt, wo vielleicht sagt, jeder, man muss TR0 für 2 Stunden machen oder man muss es für 30 Minuten machen, wo irgendein versteckter Standard mit da reingekommen ist.
And don't worry about the coaches anymore. The supervisor is the only one who can check out the guy. So once he has a win with the coach, then the supervisor does it and overruns him.
Und man sollte nicht mehr sich um die Coaches kümmern oder das befolgen. Sobald jemand einen Gewinn hat mit dem Coach, dann geht der Supervisor, der jetzt für alles zuständig ist, hin und überläuft es.
The end result of that will be shrinkage.
Das Endresultat davon wird Verkleinerung sein.
Less well-trained auditors and less well-trained coaches.
Weniger gut trainierte Auditoren und weniger gut trainierte Coaches.
So, in Ron's org, we try to put back the spirit of the technology with the original basis of the axioms which LRH wrote, which from that basis derived all of the technology.
In den Ronsorgs versuchen wir den Geist der Technologie so hinzutun, basierend auf den grundlegenden Axiomen, wovon alle Technologie abgeleitet ist, von diesen Axiomen.
So, I hope that you all had wins doing this.
Ich hoffe, dass ihr alle Gewinne gehabt habt.
Yeah. Okay. And then tomorrow we will meet at what time?
Morgen treffen wir uns 10.
10? 10 Uhr. And we will go further into the grade 4, class 4 review, internship here, you might say seminar, but also it's like qual action.
Und wir gehen dann weiter mit diesem Class 4 Review, beziehungsweise man könnte auch sagen, es ist vielmehr eine Qual-Aktion als ein Seminar.
And some more interesting drills and meter drills and things like that.
Und ein paar interessante Metadrills und solche Sachen.
Okay. Question?
Yes, just a question to finish with the training, because you didn't talk about closed eyes. Training closed eyes.
OTTR0.
OTTR0. Well, we can do that in the morning. It's getting pretty late right now, because that is another subject which is also necessary to understand the difference between the interference zone, non-interference zone, and when you can do it with auditors and PCs and so on like that. Okay?
Okay.
So, and you have to understand the anatomy of what's happening when you're doing TR0, OTTR0.
Die Frage war über OTTR0 und die Antwort ist, wir machen das morgen, weil es jetzt ziemlich spät wird. Weil das ein ganz anderes Thema ist, wann man das machen kann und was die ganze Anatomie davon ist.
Okay, and that is because it is, we're doing class 4 here, and that is called OTTR0. And that has a different anatomy.
Wir machen hier bis Klasse 4 und es wird eben OT T0 genannt und das hat eine verschiedene oder eine andere Anatomie.
And sometimes it is very hard to flatten.
Und es ist manchmal sehr schwierig flach zu kriegen.
Okay, so thank you very much for attending the first day and see you all tomorrow morning, 10 o'clock. Thank you for the good translation to see. Okay, that's it.